Let us solve for inequalities graphically. Here I've got two graphs that you can see, or let me say functions. There's a function of f, which is an exponential function with an asymptote of -2. There is a function of g of x, which is a hyperbolic function with two asymptotes, horizontal one being -2, a vertical one being x equals to 0. Now let us answer the questions that are given. Question number 1 is asking for which values of x. Now keep in mind our answers is going to be values of x written in interval notation, set builder, or even on a number line, whatever the case may be. Which values of x is f of x less than g of x? Let us go to the Cartesian plane and look for where the graph of f is below the graph of g of x. My f of x is below from this region here, which is point A. You see the graph is going below, and then from 0, which is our asymptote, the graph starts to be above, if you can look at it carefully. Then my answer is then going to be the values of x are between -1, but my x must be greater than -1. However, x must be less than 0. And it will be less than 0 because of x at 0 being an asymptote. Question number 2 is asking for which values of f of x is which values of x is f greater or equal to g, greater or equal to g. So my graph of f is greater from -1. You see the graph of f becomes above, or is above, the graph of g. So basically, when the values of x are less than -1, but because they said greater or equal to, so now I'm going to include my -1. But the graph of f is also greater from 0 going to positive infinity. Therefore, I'm going to have another inequality here and say my x also greater than 0. Greater than 0 because remember, we won't include 0 since our 0 is an asymptote. Alright, question number, the next one. The next question is asking for, please remember our asymptote is -2. The next question, question 3, is asking for f of x times g of x less or equal to 0. So we need whereby our functions have different signs. Here g is positive, but f is negative. So basically, between -1 and 0, -1 included, this is where we get these two graphs multiplying each other, such that they will give us a number that is less or equal to 0. But for greater than 0 now, which is number 4, we will take whereby our functions are both having the same signs. So right here, this graph is positive, this one is negative. That is not going to work for us. Actually, this section right here can work for our number 3, whereby our graphs are below. So basically, instead of having this, we can say our x values are less than 0. Less than 0, excluding 0, and yes, this basically says it all. We are at number 4. I said this one work for us, this one work for us, but from 0 going to infinity, this is where our graphs will multiply each other and give us a number that is greater than 0. So when x is more than 0. Question 5, where is f of x greater than -2? Greater than -2 for all real numbers. Because -2, remember, is your asymptote. Your graph will forever be above. the last one.